Hello everybody, welcome back to Exploring the Black Country here on the BCM main line. As you can just see, we have got the motorway, we've got the train line which goes over at the side, and we've got the aqueduct with the old line canal just running right away above. I just really do find it fascinating how you've got all three that intersect one another, the motorway, the aqueduct and that train line just onto the corner there. It's a really cool spot. And what I find fascinating is the way they designed that and put all the support pillars for the motorway going all the way down to here. Very tall up, as you can just see. You can just imagine that this would have probably took a while to construct. But check out that. So as you may know, the BCM main line has a lot of history heading towards Smethwick and that way, but where we're heading is to the BCM old line, past Sandwell Park Colliery and all the way to Sandwell Park. We're going to be going to Lodge Farm today, which is a section of Sandwell Park that I have not covered. We're going to recover back over the Priory Wood section, then head there. It's going to be an interesting day because I've always wanted to come back to Sandwell Park since then. But I just love this bit of the canal. I could just literally cycle all the way down and keep going to Birmingham. It's one of my favourite sections of the canal from here. So much history, and you've got the Chance's Glassworks right around the corner. You've got many more. Imagine Smethwick is where many of the factories sprung up in the old days. But what a canal. Here you just see going all the way down to the bottom. So right, here we are guys on the BCN old line now. You can just see it's very busy right away in front. This is actually Span Lane Bridge, and you've got the Span Lane just right away at the top. I mean, just coming right away through, you see how old this bridge is all together, going right the way under it. So where we want to go is a bit more further on, and it should come and bring us to Sandwell Park Colliery, where the loading wharf actually used to be. So if I'll show you that, it is really interesting. You can just see the motorway still above me at the moment. Then the canal opens up and it goes into a wide opening, and you've got Summit Bridge right down the bottom. You've also got where the train goes over, and there's also another road bridge. So it's just literally just right round this corner. So here we are, this is where Sandwell Park Colliery Wharf was actually situated, just right the way over there. They've actually put a sign up with a picture on it saying Sandwell Park Colliery Wharf. As you can just see, zooming in, there we go. So that's actually what it would have looked like originally. Got an old photo on for you now, so you can see one of the buildings there before it was actually dismantled. It's pretty cool to see that itself, and at the moment you can just see the very old brick wall just right at the back with some little connection parts just at ends onto the corners. Wow. I just love seeing the old history like this on canals, like I've mentioned before in previous videos. You imagine the canals were quite used for transporting goods across. Coal, steel, other factories that was prosperous along the canal lines used them to transport their goods. That's actually why there's quite a lot of canals around the Black Country, and that's what it's for. During the Industrial Revolution it was used really well. They always say that we have more canals than Venice, believe it or not. But these are the most important canals because this is where much of our history lies for the Black Country, is with places like this still left to see. But there is even more across this old line itself as you're coming right the way down past the wharf. You've got little old building parts here, so this could have actually been more parts of the Sandwell Park Colliery itself. It's right round to the corner. Really old. You can see where one of the old signs was, just onto the corner there. Very old brick onto the walls. But that's actually another one. I tell you what guys, I must be really fit and active. The effort to get this bike up the stairs, because the weight of it is just insane. You see the weight of this thing e-bike with the frame is just super heavy. I've got more stairs. But you see how far I've come up. I've come up a numerous amount of stairs just to get this up here. It took me like 4 minutes. You see we're getting closer to the top of the road now. I think that is actually where we've got to go, straight down there and then turn right, I believe. So let's put the more effort in and let's get to the top of this road. So here we are, we've made it right away to the top of the road. So you can just see quite a lot of industry right above here. So I'm thinking if we go down there, turn right, and it's somewhere down that road where we've got to go. Viewing right the way down, you can just see the BCN old line going under the Summit Tunnel just right below me. Summit Tunnel runs all the way from here, goes through that way and comes out a little bit of a bottom part there. There is a nature trail walk what goes on the corner. But one more view of that, it's really cool. You can just see the train line going all the way across the top. But it's really tall up. I just can't believe I got the bike up them stairs. But there we go, a little bit of a view for you so you can see the bottom of the BCN old line. Wow, what a view of that. Oh, right, this is the first time I've ever done this to Sandwell Park. So if we just keep going straight down here, I might have to get Google Maps up to see where we've got to go to. So right, I've just gone on Google Maps, I've actually found out where we've got to go. We've got to go straight on, then it brings us on to WWII, I believe, turn right, then up a road what takes us at the back, then up to Sandwell Park to the Priory Woods. You can just see DPD just by the side of me, a big massive unit. Let's just carry cycling on. Here we got to go straight up here, I believe, then turn right. Must say that is a big DPD unit, it stretches right away to the back. I have seen part of this from the BCN old line going under the motorway from Oldbury. I don't know if it's actually the same part of it, but I know it's huge. Whether there's another DPD unit, another cycling part just right away there, so I think that goes right into West Bromwich. So I think it was actually saying we had to go this way. So there's a path here, so if we get around this truck, we'll go back on the path and see if we can loop back over to that road. So let's go and try it. So right, here we go. If you just get round this, we might be able to get back on the path. Yeah, we can actually. It's right away here. So I can actually get on the path from here now. So here we are, this is what I wanted. It's going to bring us past more industrial units, straight across this road, then to the busy road now. So meet you at Sandwell Park. Oh, so right, it is longer than what I thought. I'm actually coming past the West Bromwich Albion ground. For anybody that supports it on my channel, there's West Bromwich Albion, just right the way there. So right, just another thing that I've got to laugh at is I've noticed how tall the McDonald's sign is down here. Check how tall it is. It's absolutely huge. How high do you need a McDonald's sign? So it is part of Sandwell Park to the far back of it. So you may be able to get to Sandwell Park from this area. You see, very lovely over here. You see there's like a little bandstand thing on the corner. The main chapel itself is right the way in the middle. Wow, there's a lot of graves here. This is the biggest cemetery that I've seen. The graves stretch so far. It's just unbelievable. Check out this. All the way from there, zooming in, all the way to the back of where the Sandwell Park area is. Wow. It's quite huge in scale. It's the biggest one that I've been to so far. Let's keep going down. Oh wow, check out this. This is beautiful. Just right the way here is the chapel itself. It's got some really stunning architecture with the windows. And you see, journeying all the way around, the architecture of it. Even the water drainage pipes right at the top have got dates 1970. Just right the way up to there. If you can see it, I'll try and point it out. Just right the way there. It's got a date onto there. I will do a bit of information in a minute and see how far this chapel really does date back. And I have noticed a very, very old house just right the way to the top. I might go and check out that in a minute, but let's just go around. Go around the side of it and have a look around this corner now. Wow. I bet it's beautiful in there, it's definitely gotta be. So you can just see from the corner it has got a bell tower. It is quite small, it's got a cross right the way at the top, you've got the bell tower. The architecture from this side is amazing, especially up there where you've got those sticking right the way up. Very impressive building. I was thinking to come here on my last Sandwell Park video, but I thought I might as well come and check this out on bike. Actually, I will go a bit close. It's making me wonder, it possibly could be derelict. Yeah. You see the curtains on there, very old. And there's actually a big massive camera on there, so we won't go too close to it. But you see, just check out the architecture of that, it's just amazing. Right the way there. What I find cool about this is the paint on the windows itself. You can just tell how old that is. Most of it's chipped back on the wood right the way at the bottom. But very cool building for the architecture of it. You can just see the view of the chapel zooming right the way in, just down to there. A very beautiful sight. Very stunning. I'm going just onto the corner here with the old outbuildings. I'm not going to go on there. You see some more stuff there. It's definitely old fashioned. It's an old black country house, that is. But yeah, apart from that, let's go and head to Sandwell Park now. It's been brilliant checking out the cemetery, but that is cool. So right, coming all the way down, I was looking at the cemetery, check out this, I believe, because I thought, I looked at a cellar originally, I think the toilets actually run right the way under the chapel. So if I just quickly roll round to the other one, I'll show you there's actually two, so that's how I know them toilets. So these are the very old toilets in the chapel. So as you can just see, if I go right the way down, I don't know if this is open or locked. Oh wow, this is actually open. I might need a bit of a torch. So right, you can just see if this place is open. I have no idea what this is. It's got like a gate what's open to it. Very odd light switch, but check out the paint peel, which is right around to the sides. But it bends round just onto the corner there, comes to the back. So these are definitely toilets. Wow. Paint peel for that. What's in here? This completely goes right the way to the back. Hello? I don't know how far that goes in there, but look at the door. That door is insane. So we're right the way underneath the chapel. Wow. Oh wow, it keeps going around, guys. This is insane. Wow. Oh wow. That's the other part of it, so it bends round. We're not doing it because you've literally got to get really low down to get into there. We'll make this quick. Got some old stuff down onto here. Very old power stuff there, stop buttons. Very old papers as well. But that is what's cool, the architecture, what goes up and down. But where does this even lead to? Wow. Okay, that is cool. Some very old tools. But what is that? Yeah, it's been nailed shut. So that's actually another way out. So there's two ways into it. So this is the cellars underneath the chapel itself. But that is cool with those tools right the way there. Some really old tools sticking out. Just notice an old shovel. That is awesome. I'm going to get every bit of details I can for you because this will get shut up as soon as I put the video up. But those things are so cool. What are those? Drop it in the comments what you think these tools are. Right, I'm seeing what this is. It's some sort of a boiler system. Right, now we're going to check on the right now. Let me see what's going on up here. Oh wow, check out this, a very old toilet. Check out the paint peel for this. This has got to be super old, this has. It hasn't been used in, I'm talking years. How cool is that? Right, there we go. That's actually the old-fashioned cellars and toilets because I think it bends round, but I don't really want to go too far around that corner. It's super cool, that is. Might get some pictures now in a little while. So there we go. That's what I wonder what that was. So the other one's shut, and lucky enough the other one was open. It just keeps going round and under the chapel itself. Because I left my bike here, I don't really want to be too long down there, but you can just see the door for it right the way open. But right now is our time to find the way to get to Sandwell Park. So I don't think that's open. So let's go and find out. Okay, I've noticed some very interesting information here. It is very bad onto some parts of it, but it's actually talking about the Birmingham's war effort when it was in World War II, the things they did. It's there, Hudson and Co, Mills Munitions Factory. It's got dates on there. Mills opened in 1915, making the breakthrough Mills bomb hand grenade. 75 million of which were supplied during the war. That's crazy, that is. Hudson and Co, company founded in 1970 in the Birmingham's Jewellery Quarter. We might actually go to Birmingham because I was thinking about going there and actually covering quite a lot of history around some World War II stuff itself. You've got the back-to-backs in Birmingham, the old houses, so we may look at that in a little bit of time. So I've got a Birmingham canal planned up as well, so we are going to be moving into that section a bit later on into the year. There's so much onto it. It tells you about the City of Birmingham locomotive, the railways, the GWR, how it was actually used for ambulance train number 40. That is cool, that is. Hospitals around the area, Ruby Hill. There's so much. I mean, you just expand onto World War II. I mean, we had so much participation with making munitions and also some little hospitals around the areas. So I think now we've got to go all the way back from where we come from, go back through the gates, come out, then go straight the way down. It should bring us on to Sandwell Park. But you can just see, very beautiful over here, all the overgrowth, the trees. This is the perfect place for wildlife to inhabit, really. You actually see quite a lot over Sandwell Park. It's full of wildlife, especially in Priory Woods, as you may know from my last video on Sandwell Park. It was really thriving so well, but my camera zoomed into some wildlife. Very impressive. It's the sounds of it. I just love the sounds of wildlife. It's just relaxing. So right, I'm actually coming up here now. It's saying I've got 1 bar on the battery. There's so many off points to go and different places into here. So I'll see where this either leads to. Now the only trouble is now is remembering the way I'll come back as well, because it's a big place. Oh, I hope I remember how to get back to the BCN old line. But wow, it's just so relaxing over here. Listen to the sounds of the wildlife. You can just hear grasshoppers right around the overgrowth of all this lot here. And you've got the plants in the distance, you've got foxgloves, all the overgrowth of the trees. Perfect place for wildlife to inhabit really, especially if it's overgrown like this. I could literally spend hours here, could probably spend until the end of the night, all day. But wow. Might have a little break in about half an hour and then we'll carry on, but we'll see where this path even leads us to. Wow. We've got to go and check out this, guys. Where's this? So it was telling us to go all the way back round. So if we look back round, let's go and check out these gun emplacements. These might be interesting to look at, its history. I had no idea this was even here. So this is a handsworth gun emplacements. Bit of World War II stuff here, guys. And there's even some bricks here. Hampstead. I love these bricks because they've got names onto them. I've read some by a coal mine, the Himley pit where I went to. There's actually a Staffordshire blue brick up there. Wow, look at these. So yeah, these were placed here in World War II. They are anti-aircraft gun emplacements. So they do really date back a bit. I can't get on my phone to get the history up at the moment because there's no signal. But I will just show you all around it. You see this stuff sticking up here. But this is so cool how it goes all the way around. But the old metal is insane. Just imagine World War II when this was even here. So there we go, there's even more for Sandwell Park. What we possibly could have gone past and never filmed this. This is really cool. And then right away to the top is even more connection parts. Just right the way there. So here we are, we've come to the back end of it now. In about 2 minutes time I should be touching the end of where the hall used to be, the Sandwell Park Hall. Not too far around this corner. As you may have seen, this is Sandwell Priory, right the way there. There's all the Priory ruins stretching all the way across and far back down the corner. So we will go back down, I will show you little bits and pieces. I'll just bring my bike just a bit onto that bit there so we can sit down. But there's so much information around Sandwell Priory. I mean, the history. It does say it, so I will read you a bit today. It actually says the priory was built around the mid-12th century by William, son of Guy de Offaly, Lord of the Manor of West Bromwich. It was located next to the Sandwell. So the Sandwell is where Sandwell gets its name from. Just down onto it, a natural spring a short distance to the south, from which the priory gets its name. Although endowed with land, property and many privileges, documentary evidence leaves the impression of a priory, at times struggling to survive. Recruitment in its first 100 years probably approached the ideal of a dozen monks led by a prior. However, in the second half of the 14th century, there were only 1 or 2 monks at the priory. After a recovery in the 15th century, numbers declined again by the time it was closed in 1525 on the orders of the Cardinal Wolsey. At this date there was only a prior and 1 monk, and many of the buildings were in a very poor state. So you can just imagine the Sandwell Priory, the dates 1160 to 1200. So it says here the early years, the chancel, presbytery crossing and transepts and the north and south chapels of the church were constructed first. The cloister ranges were built in timber and the nave and south aisle may have only been planned. So 1200 to the 1300, during this century the cloisters were rebuilt in stone and the nave and the south aisle completed. The layout is largely of this date except for the east cloister range. An earlier chapter house stood here in the parlour and warming room is indicated, and there was no building on its north side. So you see right away there. Picture on for you now here where you can just see the view around the priory around 1300. So it's only just a sketch of what it possibly would have looked like back in the very old days. It is so cool. And you see there the planned out map, what the ruins are now, the south transept, south aisle, the nave, crossing and chancel, and the presbytery right the way there, cloister, cellarium, the kitchens. This is really cool. So that's actually the Priory ruins. It just dates so far back a bit. You imagine over here over the time they've actually found things in the ground when they've actually restored much of the parts. Imagine a metal detector over here, but you've got to have so much higher end permission to do that. Imagine people what they'll find over here. But I really find places like this fascinating with history, old ruins. But if I just roll around the corner, let me go and show you the well, which is right the way here. So right, this is actually the well for Sandwell. This is where Sandwell gets its name from. You see right the way, if I just pull up to show you, this is it, this is the well. You won't believe that Sandwell gets its name from this. Going all the way from there, all the way down and into that little bit of wooded area right the way at the back. It's only a small little bit, but I believe this is the well for Sandwell Park. But here's a better view of the Priory ruins stretching all the way down the back. You may have remembered in my last Exploring the Black Country video, we was down there, just sitting on there, enjoying the little bit of the surroundings. So if we get over to there, I will take my bike through and just show you one more overview in there. We'll have a little bit of a rest as well. But if we just pan all the way down to here, you can just see Sandwell Hall, what I was on about. So if you were standing here in the 1850s, you would have seen Sandwell Hall straight the way ahead. Picture on for you now so you can just see Sandwell Hall, and a picture of Sandwell Hall where it possibly would have been stretching from there, going right the way there past the Priory itself. So here's a picture once more for you so you just see the Sandwell Hall. So it is really cool to see that was here many years ago, but what's happened to it? It makes you wonder. You know, old history like this just vanished out in the middle of nowhere just to end like this. It's just crazy. Imagine who lived in there back in the past, 1700s. So Sandwell Hall was built on top of Sandwell Priory in 1705. Lord Dartmouth bought the site in 1701, and in 1705 he demolished most of the existing buildings to build a new house. Sandwell Hall was built of brick and had towers of 3 corners like those you can see at Sandwell Park Farm, which is right the way down the back, so you would have seen it in my last Sandwell video. So the east range of the Sandwell Priory was retained. It became the west range of the Sandwell Hall, and in the 19th century a portico supported by columns was added to the front of the hall, and the house was extended to the west. The Dartmouths moved to Patsall near Wolverhampton in 1853, and then the Sandwell Hall had various uses before it was demolished in 1928. So you just see the date where it does go far back in 1928. But really cool. So there's the Priory itself, the main Priory of what this would have looked like, and then the Sandwell Hall stretching right the way down. And there we go. So let's go down there and I will show you the old ruins now of the Priory itself, just down the bottom. So here we are, we're possibly entering one of the old buildings now. So if we just come right the way through, I'm going to leave my bike just onto the corner here. But you see, stretching all the way around, you've got where the old windows used to be onto the corner right the way there for the Priory itself, and but this is where Sandwell Hall was actually situated in the old days. So if we come right the way up, you can just see right the way here. So is this part of Sandwell Hall? You can see all these patterns in there. Is that old flooring for the front part of it? That is cool. So you can tell by the brick. And coming right the way up, you can just see coming out the ground is old bits of brick, possibly for the Sandwell Hall itself. You see all the brick here. So this is actually where it was. So walking through now, we're possibly in the Sandwell Hall building itself. The Sandwell Hall would have stretched all the way to the back here, gone to about there, round, and covered somewhere like on the far back over that corner. You see, it's just awesome. Just to see where the old remains of Sandwell Hall really was, because it really does date back a bit. The Priory ruins onto here, if I just go back down to show you, I showed you in my other video, but I'll show you one more time. You see, even up here, there's old remains up here for it, the old brick. It's right away there. Like I mentioned earlier, imagine what's buried right around the ground here. Coming slowly down. You see the windows onto this corner. So this is actually one of the windows. It's right away here. Check out that. Leading all the way across. got where another window would have been on this corner here. There would have been a window there, I believe. And it just been brick going all the way around. Another entrance out there, so that would have been another entrance out once more. What's quite interesting, if I come to this back corner, is this pipe sticking out the ground. You can just see a pipe here going right the way through. So where does that even lead to? Was that also part of the old Sandwell Hall itself? It's really interesting. But there we go, that's actually the Priory ruins, so I'm going to have a little bit of a break and then we're going to go head our way to Lodge Farm now, which is all the way that way, back where we come from, straight down, and it's somewhere down there, got the River Tame, so it's going to be a bit of an extension to the video, so enjoy. So right, that's basically the Priory ruins. We're heading back now to get to the Forge Mill section where the Tame is now. So we are possibly going to come back to Sandwell Park, so you will see another sequel to this and the other half of it for what we covered before, going back over more history, different things, showing you more bits and pieces, what I may have missed. So we'll come back to that, but we're going to go down to this section now and see what's down there lurking. So right, so if we head this way, go back for the way we come, and this now should take us all the way to Forge Mill Farm, back on that path from what was coming up earlier. If we go right the way to the bottom, cycle it all the way, Forge Mill Farm should be somewhere down there. We should see the River Tame. Now I believe you can go in Forge Mill Farm, it's actually another farm place. So we'll go and check it out, what I believe. That's what somebody told me, I have no idea what it is until we get there. I know there's a big car park, what I've seen on the Google Maps itself. But we won't go in there because we're on bike. I haven't got my bike lock with me. But let's have a quick view. You see straight path down to here now. So right, we're going to take this route I think. So instead of going all the way around the back from where the Tame was and that section, we're going to come down here. We might actually come past this massive pool right the way in the middle. You see it from here sort of. So we might come past that. I did see somebody go past on a bike right away in the distance over there, so I'm thinking there might be some off turns, which is why we've come this way. Like I said earlier, there's quite a lot of paths you can take within Sandwell Park. It is massive, so we've definitely got to come back and explore bits what we haven't done yet, because there's even further way of that way as well, which we're not going to be able to cover today. But it's huge. You see there's even places there, walkways. See even people walking on the fields over there. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely beautiful over here. I've just heard no end of nature. There's so much. I mean, over there it's just completely filled with trees. I've heard some grasshoppers once more wildlife. So right, this is Swan Pool, just right around the corner. So that's your map there from where we are. So that's actually what's at the back. It's really huge. So you can just see the bottom half of it here. So if we just carry on, there is a right turn in, I believe. So let's go and check out down here. So yeah, this is another part of Sandwell Park that I've not explored yet. I've never been. So I'm just looking to see what's on this right turn here. Actually, I might go and check out what our sign says, whether it's taking us to where we need to get to. Forge Mill Farm, there we go, 1 mile, that's where we need to get to. And then Sandwell Park Farm is right the way up to there, so we'll maybe go and check that out in a little while, if we can go and head that way if we've got the time, but carry straight on. So here we are, here's the massive pool itself. It's absolutely huge. You can just see quite a bit of wildlife on here, coots. Can just see some big water birds right around the middle. I haven't got my camera today to zoom in, but what a sight that is. We even got fishermen over here, so there must be some really big carp. You can just see one fisherman there, just fishing at the moment. It's a really good day for it though, but you can see there's a coot coming down there. It's a really great place to see wildlife, and it is really jogging with memories. I'm sure I've been to this spot here. I'm sure when I was younger I'll come over Sandwell Park, but I can't remember much of it in ways, but I remember coming down this path and you had a big pool by the side. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I can't really remember that far back. But it does bring back a little bit of memories. But really beautiful sights there, check out that. So Forge Farm should be somewhere down here, but you see, coming by the side of the massive pool itself, it's huge. There's even a sign here. Let's quickly show you what this is. It says the birds of Swan Pool, so you can just see you get your teals, mallards, moor hens, cormorants. I've seen tons of them. You may have seen in the sheep wash video, I've seen quite a lot of those. Black-headed gulls, a pochard, tufted duck, coot. There's a lot over here, so it's definitely worth bringing the camera because I can see quite a lot of the wildlife right the way in the middle of the pool itself. But there we go, that's what you can expect to see on Swan Pool. Beautiful place. If you've never been to this part of Sandwell Valley, then definitely come down and check it out. Amazing. So here we are, I believe we've actually made it. What a cycle. So let's see what's around this corner. Got all the Canada goose right the way onto here. Wow, what a sight that is. All the way around. You can just see the back end of West Bromwich right around to the distance. You've got the Bond Wharf that's right over there. Wow. You can just see there's a board here telling you about some more information. So where we are, we're right out there, zooming in onto there. You've got Forge Mill Lake, you've got Swan Pool. We're going to have a look at Forge Mill Lake where the River Tame is any moment now. You see, that's actually where it was on the other half of the video, is what we was doing before. So we are going to be doing an updated video that gives you more overviews and information, starting from where we started earlier, from the Priory all the way down. So we'll go and check out that half another time. Then we've even got all that parts up there, so it does go even further. We need to try and cover as much as possible within this Exploring the Black Country, all the different places. We've even got Hampstead Hall Ice House, which is right at the top, Hampstead Hall School. We're going to make our way to there in the near future when the Exploring the Black Countries once more. There's even estates down here, Europa Estate, Dartmouth Park, the back areas. So stay up to date with that. So we've got Forge Mill Farm, as you can just see. There's another farm there what we visited before. So that's actually right away to the back. Let's go and check out what's down here actually. So we've never been to this section here. So here we are, saying Forge Mill Farms down there. We've got the River Tame, which I'll show you in a little while actually. So it says there, the history of the lake which surrounds here, Forge Mill Lake. It's actually an aerial photo just going all the way down, so when I do come back I'm going to get some drone footage. But you see there, going all the way across. Another photo there, just from above in 1978 by Andy Purcell, right the way there. So it does say actually in 1981 a lake was created on land that was previously farmland as part of a flood storage reservoir. This reduced the risk of flooding from the Tame to downstream properties. As a result, the biodiversity value of the area increased, and in 1985 the RSPB started managing 10 hectares of the land to benefit wildlife. And in 1991 the site was declared a local nature reserve, and the RSPB Visitor Centre opened in 2015. Following extensive flooding in Birmingham in 2007, the Environment Agency developed a further range of measures to reduce the risk of property flooding in the future, including additional flood storage measures at Sandwell Valley Country Park. Construction of these measures started in 2015 with improvements to flood defence walls in Whitton, Birmingham, as part of phase 1 of the Perry Bar and Whitton Flood Risk Management Scheme. Phase 2 of the scheme started in 2018, covering some parts of this section just right the way here. So it's quite cool to see the history dating back on the reservoir on this part here, why it's actually there. Let's go and journey down and show you the River Tame, which is right around the corner. So the River Tame actually runs through Sandwell Park on the very bottom area, so if we can cross over there you will see the lake itself. But let's quickly go and show you the Tame just around that corner. So here we are, this is the River Tame. It stretches quite wide, going all the way down, bending round into Sandwell Park itself. I don't know the exact trail of this Tame itself. I know it goes in parts of Birmingham, past where the Spaghetti Junction is, I believe. But you see there is even stuff into there. You can see odd bits of pottery lurking right the way in, metals. Imagine the journey of this river itself. I can imagine there's probably fish in there once more. It's got a bit of depth to it. So yeah, I've been looking, if I just look a bit carefully because of the sun, the River Tame actually goes near to where the Spaghetti Junction is, just by the Villa Park. Going all the way down, goes through parts of Handsworth just right onto the corner. Then I believe from this section then it goes all the way up to Warsaw, then up to the back areas. So if you do know much about the River Tame, then drop it in the comments. But just one more view of the Tame itself, stretching all the way across. Might have a little bit of a cycle up there and just show you around that corner and we'll go and see what it looks like. But a beautiful view that is of the Tame itself. But you can just see the River Tame from this section. Oh wow, there's so much money in there, tons of money. And it goes all the way down and across there, then straight away through to Sandwell Park itself, around the corner. But you can just see, I see pound coins and 10p's just right away in the water, shining. Now you had to see them right the way there. Tons of money. And then right the way across you've actually got Forge Mill Lake, local nature reserve. Let's go a bit closer to show you. There's tons of wildlife on this one itself. You've got water birds, coots, you've got your Canada goose, swans, there's tons down here, even your mallards just right around the corner. So this one itself stretches right the way to the back, and you can actually cycle it, you can go round the place itself and all the way to the far back areas. But what another beautiful sight to Sandwell Park itself. I mean, to come and see this one that I've never ever seen before is beautiful. There's so many coots down there, check out the coots. It's count no end of coots. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's nearly about 15 coots just in one area at the back. And check out how many water birds there is. So here we are, I'm just going to show you the River Tame all down this section. I've just never seen that much money in the River Tame itself. There's tons of change. But right the way in front you see the river itself stretching all the way down. I think that's the farm there where we're going to have a look in a little while. I don't know if it's free or you've got to pay to go around that farm itself. You see we're coming to the back end of the pool just right away here. I just want to see what's right around the top end of that corner. It is worth a look. So like I say, this could be a potential video for a walking route. So we could walk this and go all the way to Warsaw. If there's a path that goes all that far, I really have no idea. But it stretches right around this corner. I don't know if this will link back round to the other end of this pool actually. But you can see it comes to a bridge down here in any moment. But the River Tame carries straight the way on, as you can just see. There's a green bridge down there. But how cool is that? You've got the pylons. It's coming more out into the countryside area now, a bit out the way. And I think I'm going to do a U-turn in a minute and then go back to where we come from. Go to Forge Mill Farm and go and show you that, I think. But what a journey.